It's Evil Ted's Coffee Talk. We're just going to have coffee and talk. No big whoop. I have a special guest today, everybody. Shepard of Men. He also goes by Jake, is that correct?
Yep, Jake.
But also, when you're doing a stream and with fellow Twitch streamers, I always go by their Twitch name. And we're having coffee. Also, big question for Coffee Talk here is coffee or tea?
Coffee.
It's always coffee. That's awesome. Shepard, I have to say something. Better sip my coffee. Everybody, real quickly, on my show, Coffee Talk, I have guests on. The first half hour is going to be me asking him and talking to him about costume building, what he got himself into, and the other half of the show, we're going to take questions from chat and people like that. But for the first half hour, it's going to be me having coffee and talking. So Shepard, I ask a question. What got you started? What got you into building costumes?
Recently or
No,
just original?
No, let's go back in further. So what got you into the crafting with your hands? What got you making stuff with your hands?
I was always really into art when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother was, one of them was a oil painter. And she used to tutor me after school. So I'd go there and I'd watch her oil paint. And she lived right by me. So literally where I grew up was about a quarter to a half mile section.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all farmland. Well, I lived right next to my dad's mom and dad. And I would go up there after school every day and she would tutor me in math and make me a grilled cheese and and dill pickles. And then she'd tutor me in math, and then we would oil paint afterwards.
Nice.
So, and I just always loved to draw, and I guess that's originally where I really got into the artistic side of things. And that was, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Great. So that planted the seed for actually painting and sketching. But what was a turning point for you to physically take your hands and make something three-dimensional?
My dad was military a lot, and my mom's uncle lived in the same town.
Right.
So another male figure, when he was gone, my dad was gone a lot. I spent a lot of time with my uncle, and he was into D&D and into Renaissance fairs and stuff like that. So he said, "Hey, let's go to this Renaissance fair." And I said, "Okay," young kid. And ironically, he actually lived with my mom's mother, which was his mother as well, and she is a master seamstress.
Oh, wow.
So I used to take pictures that I loved of video games or movies, and I would draw the character and said, "Mamaw, can you help me make this?" And so she would sew the costumes, and I started going to medieval fairs with my uncle, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Nice.
So that's really where I got into cosplay, but I didn't know it was called cosplay.
And here's the thing. For me, too, same thing. It's costumes. As a kid, it was costumes. But was it movies or video games that got you good in building?
Originally movies. I was really into, of course, all the Disney movies when I was a kid. And I would draw all the characters. I got into the original NES.
Right.
And playing Zelda. And so I always wanted to be Zelda. So I actually drew a picture, and my grandmother helped me make the Zelda costume. And I actually learned how to do leather work from my uncle. So I did some amateur leather work and just real rough stitching and stuff like that. And so that's really when I started hand making things. I actually started with leather before anything else.
Excellent. I just forgot to start my timer. No worries. Another thing is, here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How easy did you find the transition from working with fabric and leather into foam?
It was incredibly easy.
Exactly.
It's practically the same thing. The only difference is with leather, you're wet forming.
Right.
And then with sewing, you're putting little pleats in
Right.
to make complex curves and stuff like that. But then with foam, you're just doing the same thing, just with a heat gun majority of the time.
And there's nothing I try to reach out to people and tell people what people watch my YouTube channel is that if you're a carpenter or you're a model maker or a seamstress or you're used to crafting with your hands, it's all this. It's the same psychology, the same thinking. Foam is just an easy translation. And once I learned about foam, because I used to work with sinter and resins and PVC plastic, and when I started getting introduced to foam, I was like, wait a minute, it's the same thing. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Evil Ted's Coffee Talk. I have a special guest here, Shepard of Men, also known as Jake. Shepard of Men is in town for TwitchCon, right?
Yes, sir.
The reason he is for TwitchCon is he submitted to the TwitchCon costume contest and got accepted. Is that correct?
Yeah, in the top 20, yeah.
The top 20, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason being is because it's pretty darn cool and really good. And do you have it right here? Do you not?
I have a couple pieces of it, too.
This is awesome, guys. Look at this. Now, this is all, what did you seal your foam with?
This is actually all Plasti-Dip.
It's plastic dead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, all plastic.
Like anything, when traveling people, he put it in a foot locker, a big plastic tote. It was heavily sealable. What happens when you go through and travel with your cosplay, TSA feels compelled to open your case and go through it. And what happened was they went through his case and put everything back in incorrectly and just shoved the lid on it.
Crushed it. Absolutely crushed the chest plate.
Actually crushed his chest plate. He was a little distressed, but did not come back.
It did, yeah. When I first saw it, as soon as we got it off the conveyor belt at the airport, I was like, you know what, I'm going to open this, because immediately I saw the TSA tape all over the top of it.
Oh,
and I had put zip ties on the actual lock position, so I didn't lock anything.
Oh.
But they still broke the actual turn lock on the front of my Tough Box, and it wasn't even locked.
Did you have it? So you didn't have it locked up?
I didn't have it locked. I just had it closed.
Get a TSA lock just for future reference.
Yeah, and so they just broke it. They could have just opened it, and then they unpacked everything, and then put everything back in. And the last thing they put back in was my chest plate, and the whole front of it right here was crushed, as well as pretty much both of the shoulder blade covers on the back. And it still came out.
It came back.
Ted was like, "Hey, I'm the Bob Ross of foam. Don't worry about it. Let's get back to the shop." We hit it with a heat gun and a blow dryer, and brought everything back out and let it sit overnight, and
it
we're
came
golden.
back. So the cool thing with foam armors, it does come back. But again, once again, I say excellent work. And also, you do a little bit of 3D printing as well, do you not?
Yes, sir. Yeah, actually, these pieces right here are 3D printed as well. Those are lion heads that you can see.
And now, did you also do shoulder pieces, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Can we see those real quick?
Yes, sir.
Again, this is one thing that I have not got into, but it's super awesome. He got into 3D printing. And can you tell the audience what is the 3D printer that you use to print that?
Yeah, if you actually go down below my stream on my channel, I have a link to the website where I bought my 3D printer. But I use a Prusa i3 MK1. It's the original Prusa, and I just kind of lucked into it. I thought it was a good printer. It had good reviews.
Awesome.
And ironically, it's been the #1 desktop printer for about the last 5 years now.
What's impressive about this is not as heavy as I thought it would be.
Right.
So it's hollow. You programmed it to,
Yeah, the way that you can 3D print is you can 3D print a certain amount of infill. So you can print it 100% solid as if it was cast in resin.
Wow.
Or you can print it 10%, 5%, 2%, 75%. And what it does is just makes a crosshatch grid pattern.
How much sanding did you do on this?
About 12 hours.
Yeah, see,
just to sand.
Again,
each shoulder pauldron, and this is just one shoulder pauldron.
There's two dirty words in the costume community I hear a lot.
This is actually foam.
Oh, well done. See, that's good. The two dirty words I hear a lot in costume building, people say, is cheating and failing. And I want to definitely stress that when you make something, you 3D print something, they go, is that cheating? No. You still have to sand it. You still have to put work into it. You still have to get the file. You have to build it, program it, sand it, and you have to put a lot of work into it. So.
I kind of had that same misconception, I would say, about 3D printing when I first got into cosplay.
Right.
And the reason why is because I was like, well, you could just download a file from the internet and take somebody else's work and 3D print it. In a certain way, I can understand people considering that as cheating. But with me, I actually didn't take any file from anyone. This is sculpted from me, from scratch. Literally started with a ball of clay in ZBrush and turned it into a lion head.
Cool. So you actually made this yourself. This is your own program.
Yes, sir. I didn't. Nothing is from anyone else. This is custom sculpted. I looked at pictures from the screenshots from the trailer video of the Legion trailer for World of Warcraft. I looked at pictures from the in-game of Heroes of the Storm and some of the actual WoW in-game models.
Now this costume you said is a mix match between, you said this is from, there's a bits of it from the movie and from the game, so.
Well, from the cinematic trailer for the newest expansion of World of Warcraft, Legion, which is the newest expansion for the video game.
Right.
There's an awesome video of Varian Wrynn fighting in this armor. Mm-hmm. And so I looked at that version of the whole armor, and then I looked at some of the different skins that are available in Heroes of the Storm, the video game, and then some of the in-game models. And I picked the pieces that I liked the best and kind of combined about 4 or 5 different versions of his costume.
I like that.
And created what I wanted the costume to look like.
Exactly, because when you're building something, there's some people who are really hardcore, like a lot of the WoW stuff. When people do BlizzCon characters, they want to nail things perfectly. If you're doing something, there's different avenues of the same character. Like there's a video game version of this, and the movie version of this. So there's different things you can pull from where you're actually not really changing things. You're just adding to it and bringing two different worlds together. It's a lot of fun. I always like when I'm building something, I like to have a little bit of fun when making something, like to alternate. But well done. I have to say, this is so cool seeing this up close. I'm really excited. That
awesome.
I will have to warn you, sir. The competition
is steep. That's I've
Wow.
been saying that. We talk to one another. Pretty much all 20 of the people invited to the contest. We all watch each other's streams. We support one another. We give each other advice, and multiple times. I mean, over this contest, and we are always really encouraging of one another. More so, like when we see one another get down because of the time constraints, or
Right.
because of how difficult something is becoming. Oh, I just don't know how to figure this out. We just help each other out. That's what I love so much about the creative community on Twitch. Is everybody's so inviting and caring, and it's really cool to see the top 20 work together and encourage one another.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I'm really excited about seeing this stuff all together. I hate to ask you a dirty question, but most people have to do this. That you have a real job, do you not?
I do have a real job.
What is your real job? You don't mind me telling
No, I don't mind. For about the last 3 years, I've had my own wiring business.
Okay.
I actually started wiring security systems, camera systems, home theater systems, surround sound. I do a little bit of solar panel work in installation and repair.
Ooh, outstanding.
But I started a business of my own, well, with a buddy of mine a couple of years back, and unfortunately he wasn't able to continue. But yeah, I've been working for myself for about 3 years now, maybe a little bit longer.
So you actually, but you'll like, if somebody buys like a big giant TV, you put like, because that is over, well, not over exaggerate, when you get a TV and stereo system and entertainment system, and you're like, how does all this crap go together?
Right. Yeah.
You're the guy to talk
I
to.
design the system. I don't do just houses that are already built. I'll go in and wire brand new homes or brand new businesses that are still in construction, and I'll design the floor plan, talk to the builder or the foreman and say, well, you need this here, you need this here, you need this here, this here. I mean, I just did a 16-room office building, and we did 16 security cameras around, wired every room for phone, internet, and TV. We wired a conference room with a 120-inch wide projection screen, drop-down projector, HDMI connections between, and I designed those systems, and I recommend what they should get and so on. Yeah.
Wow, that is nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to. Cool thing is that we're getting ready. You're out here for TwitchCon.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And I know we met, which is super cool. And thanks for coming on my show.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity.
Who are other Twitch streamers that you're looking forward to meeting here at TwitchCon?
There's actually a lot.
Not to put you on the spot.
No, that's cool. Definitely Bjorn. Bjorn and I started talking quite a bit. A lot of y'all probably know he made the Guild Wars 2.
And he also leather work.
All leather work.
I met him at RigCon, and it wasn't at first until he was a guy in the audience that yelled something. I'm like, hey, wave. And somebody goes, that's Bjorn. I'm like, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, Bjorn. He's a really great guy.
Yes,
and
he
he's
is.
very motivational and very encouraging.
And he's super supportive of anybody. and
Very
everything.
much.
Yes, whether
Yeah.
you work in leather or foam, it doesn't matter whether you're crafting. He's super supportive.
And not to mention incredibly talented.
Yes, he is.
But guys, check out his costume this weekend. It's definitely Guild Wars 2 costume, stag armor. He made completely out of leather.
All
it's
leather.
Fantastic.
It's crazy.
You'll see it for sure. Intraventus, she's top 20. Intraventus is a cosplay creator, streamer on Twitch. Been doing it for about 2 years. A really good following behind her. She does variety too, so she streams video games as well. She's making a Blood Elf from World of Warcraft.
Ooh,
Blood
okay.
Elf costume.
Okay.
Really awesome. She has the amount of detail she puts into her costumes is amazing. She sent me a picture the other day. Said, "Hey, check this out," and I said, "I don't even know why I'm in this competition." Looking at stuff like that. So.
It's, I won't lie. When I went to this is again, everybody. This is my first TwitchCon. This is the TwitchCon. Was it the first one last year?
First one was last year, so this is the second annual TwitchCon.
And this is my first time going as well, so I don't really know what to expect. I'm just mostly going to hang out with fellow Twitch streamers.
Right.
It's super exciting. And again, I'll be talking to more people so I can get them on my Evil Ted Coffee Talk.
Right. But there's plenty more. I mean, I could name Egg Sisters cosplay.
Oh my God, are they coming to Twitch?
Casey Renee.
Casey Renee, awesome too.
Yeah.
I met her briefly for 5 seconds at DragonCon.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I want to meet all the top 20, of course, and of course, Evil Ted. And there's a few other video game streamers that I follow, like Dr. Disrespect is a big
Dr. Disrespect.
I'm a big fan of Dr. Disrespect. He is absolutely hilarious. So if you get a chance, definitely go check out his stream.
Dr. Disrespect.
Have you ever seen his stream?
Obviously I've not. Here's the thing.
This guy is a character.
I have to apologize. There's so many great streamers, and I'm catching up in between streaming and going. Somebody asked me one time about my favorite cosplayers. I'm like, it's like, I could have told you maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, and now it's just there's so many. And every time I think I meet somebody that's amazing, I run into somebody else and I'm like, who's this amazing costume person?
Yeah.
And I never even heard of them, and they're just amazing.
Yeah,
so,
you just sift through Instagram, and it's amazing cosplay after amazing cosplay. I'm like, I've never seen this person before. Where have they been?
Where they've been? They're all below radar.
Yeah.
The next thing
I'm
you
glad
know,
they're not in the Twitch cosplay contest.
correct. What that is, boy. Amen. Amen. There's so much great stuff.
I'm kind of glad that it's kind of people don't know about it yet.
and of course, are you familiar with Going Ape cosplay?
Oh yeah, man.
And Going Ape actually is going to be. Is she a Twitch cosplay too?
She will be. I hope that she has her Doom costume. That is insane.
That's insane. And I know she's traveling. How she because I barely travel with my stuff.
I can't remember where she's from. I know I want to say like Midwest or something.
Yeah,
or the
but
East Coast.
either way though, she does amazing costume too. It's super awesome, and I would love to get her on this show too because she's
Definitely
a blast and a lot of fun to talk to. So, is this your first time in California?
It's not my first time in California. It's my first time to a con in California. I was actually in California last year for about 3 weeks.
All right.
I went hiking with some friends from Germany. They came over. They hadn't been to California. They traveled up and down the West Coast, California. I met them in Yosemite National. Well, met them in San Francisco. We went to Yosemite hiking, backpacking for a week.
Right.
Filtered water. Ate. The only food we had was the food we backpacked in with.
Nice.
Slept in a tent, campfires, and then we actually backpacked out and then drove to Vegas and hung out for a couple days.
Okay. Now, right after this monstrous this masterpiece you made, get ready to do TwitchCon. What is your next build?
That's a good question. I have a couple commissions I need to knock out. Good one to look forward to is Medivh from World of Warcraft.
Okay.
We're actually doing the Warcraft 3 version of Medivh. He's got a big staff with a raven on top of it. That's a cool cosplay. But for me, and my own cosplay, I've got a list just like you do. I've got a list and I don't know what's right. Good thing that I'm going to be doing is my subs on my stream are going to be able to determine what my next cosplay is.
Okay, that's funny because there's a list of things I won't do, and that's one of them. People always say, "Hey Ted, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" I said, "Yes, I have so many things I want to build that if I said that and put it out to the audience, I don't want." My biggest fear is somebody to say I would get these huge votes for something I do not want to build.
Well, I'm putting limitations. It's going to be a list of cosplays they can choose from that I want to build.
Okay, there you go.
So, hey, here's a list of 3 cosplays that in the near future I would like to do.
Right.
Take the opportunity, and I'll give my subs the opportunity to help, vote and determine what my next cosplay is.
Okay, good. Because if I was to do something.
Free reign! Just tell me what to build. We're going to build a 30-foot tall mechanized.
Because
I don't know, something.
My fan base is crazy, and they would throw some stuff at me. I'd be like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
But that's cool. So you do. So here's my list. That's actually not a bad idea. There's a couple things I want to do on my list as well. But well, guys, I'll tell you what. We're probably going to segue a little bit earlier. We're going to start taking on questions from chat. Welcome to my show, Shepard of Men. I would like to proudly present you with an Evil Ted T-shirt.
Oh, you know what I got for you? A Shepard of Men T-shirt.
Wow, that's awesome!
Ah, it's so cool.
Wait, swap.
Yeah.
Ta-da! There it is. Thanks so much. Dude, this is actually a really nice shirt.
Well, thank you.
It's really
Yours,
nice.
this is really not sure. Is it the same company?
I think it is. Close. This is really,
They feel the same.
they feel the same. All right. Also, too, guys, I'll let you know that this Evil Ted Coffee Talk was sponsored by Suspicious Tumble. Suspicious Tumble streams also on Twitch.
That's a cool looking shirt. If you are interested in my shirt as well, you can go to my Twitch channel. Down below the stream, I have links to all my social media pages. If you get a chance, please follow me there. Follow me on Twitch if you don't mind. And also, down below my stream, on my channel, you can actually get the link directly to purchase a t-shirt for your own. And order it on your own time. It ships straight to your home.
And guys, if you get confused, you'll be watching this on YouTube. I'll have all the information below the YouTube channel. The other thing, too, is do not forget, Shepard, do you have patterns you sell as well?
I do have patterns I sell. And I actually, as soon as Twitch and BlizzCon are over, I will be uploading another about 20 patterns or more to my shop.
Fantastic.
And you can find that on as well down below my Twitch channel, Etsy, is my shop. Just go down below my stream, click the banner that says shop. It'll take you right to my Etsy page, and you can sift through the patterns I have.
All right, fantastic. Well, tell you what, grab that. We'll start answer some questions from chat.
If you were making the cosplay again, is there anything you would do different? Studio. I would, time permitting, I would have spent a little bit more time on the 3D model for the shoulders, added a little bit more detail, and still 3D printed the shoulders as well. But then I would have made a silicone mold and cast them in resin, and so that I had multiple copies. And I still plan on doing that in the future and making the resin copies of the shoulder pauldrons purchasable on my shop as well. You'll be able to buy a lion head, a griffin, or just 2 lion heads or 2 griffins, your preference. So that's one thing I would change. And a few of the other pieces I probably would have spent a little bit more time and made more molds for them as well. Let's see.
Next question is?
Yes, Varian will be at BlizzCon. A good friend of mine, Hoku Props, lives here.
Hoku Props also streams on Twitch.
He does. Fantastic. He was actually the first place winner for the Twitch cosplay contest last year.
That's right.
With a 10-foot mechanized cyborg human being Lionheart.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Yes, I'll be taking it to BlizzCon. But Hoku is actually going to store it at his house for me from TwitchCon to BlizzCon. Because I got to go back home. I didn't want to have to pay the $300 to ship it back home and then back out here. He's going to keep it for a couple weeks. I'll meet him back at BlizzCon and put it on there.
Yeah, because shipping does get expensive.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then they damage it.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. You know, you've saved my skin.
All right.
Armor, so to speak. What is the worst injury sustained while making a cosplay? That's a good question, IQ. How are you doing, IQ? It's good to see you, buddy. My worst injury.
Worst injury?
Lots of cuts. That's about it, really. Burns, definitely.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, hot glue burns have been for me.
Yeah, but I usually have super glue close by, and then just if I cut myself bad enough, I'll super glue it closed and then just keep working.
Yeah, and I tell you, people are like, you put super glue? No, we don't use super glue in our wounds. We just use it like liquid stitches. We just clean the wound really good, pinch the skin together, and then put glue on top of it. Let it dry. Don't kick it. Just let it dry. Because if you kick it, you'll burn yourself.
Another question is Hellfire Zombie. It's actually directed to you.
Yes, Hellfire Zombie.
I get stuck in builder's block a lot. How do you handle going blank between builds?
Take a break.
Take a break. I agree. Yeah.
You have to. What
Step
happens?
away.
You have to step away. I find things I'm working on something like, I've done that with this. I'm doing this costume for BlizzCon, and I had to stop. Like I was trying to make these forearms, and I wasn't happy. I ended up making I made 2 sets of forearms, and then threw them both away. I built them, stepped away. Like I built them, and I didn't like that. Built the second one the same day, and I walked away and came back the next day and went, these are crap, and I threw them out. And I went back to I worked on shin guards. I ended up just making the legs. I built the shins, and I made the shoes. And once all of a sudden I came back to the forearms, I had a fresher perspective. There's a time where you just have to stop and walk away. Just clear your head, go for a walk, call a friend, go have a drink, do something, go see a movie. You got to clear your head and then come back to it, and it'll clear out.
You can definitely get burnout. One thing that I like about streaming is that you can ask, talk to your stream and say, hey, I'm thinking about this, and they're always really helpful. Question directed to both of us.
Oh, sure.
And I don't know, because we haven't talked about everything yet, but it says, Evil Ted and Shepard Min. Is there anything in foam smithing you disagree on? Finishing products, techniques, or materials?
Oh, hey, Nerdy Crap, thank you for the host.
I don't know.
Say again, the question?
The question is there anything that we disagree on as far as foam smithing goes? Is
Here's the
products and so on and so forth? I don't know that.
Here's the answer. I have an answer for that question, and I'll tell you it goes like this.
No.
There is no right or wrong way to do anything. It's just like, it's what works. And at a certain point, like if you have something, I get people from different countries in the Philippines like, hey Ted, what do you use for quick seal in the Philippines? I'm like, I don't know. But ask somebody in the Philippines who's a cosplayer, I'm sure they have some alternative for that. What ends up happening is that whatever you can get your hands on, use it. If there's like rubber or yoga mats that work, if you can't get EVA foam, or you can get rubber sheeting, whatever you get your hands on to use works perfectly, then that's the way to do it. I've never disagreed. The only thing I disagree with is toxicities. People working with resins. The only thing I disagree with is putting resin on foam. I've seen people always go, hey, I want to put resin on foam and make this rigid. I'm like, you're making a giant eggshell. If you have something that's all nice and foam covered and you put resin on top of it, it will crack over time. But that's the thing that's the only thing that I can tell you right now I disagree with. People are really obsessed with having hard armor. If you want hard armor, get into mold making, vacuum forming, that's the way to go. But if you're working with foam, stick with foam. If you want to coat foam, stick with something flexible. That's the only thing that I disagree with. A lot of people just want to dump resin on everything that's foam.
Yeah, I'm fairly new to working with foam, so I can't say that I would disagree with somebody else's opinion on foam. All I can really speak to is the experiences that I've had. And I don't like to sand foam if I don't have to. Don't get me wrong, I'll bevel with a Dremel tool, but I try to keep my foam looking as clean as possible as far as the cuts go, so a sharp blade. But other than that, I really can't say that I'm the right person to say I disagree with somebody on what to use going with foam.
Exactly.
Especially when I'm sitting next to Bob Ross here, so she's got some questions lined up for me.
Oh, let's go.
Several people are asking about the Horn of Gondor, and now that they see it, they're freaking out and want you to blow it.
The Horn of Gondor?
Yes.
Oh wait, now can I be a part of this? Can I?
Yeah.
Oh, can I blow?
You can blow the Horn of Gondor. Let's get
So
to
now, please describe to people what the horn.
All right. So I was just unpacking some materials from my workshop one day on stream a couple months back, and I grabbed this out and I was like, what is this doing here? And I put it on the shelf. Oh, sorry. I was like, what is this here? And I put it on the shelf, and everybody was like, is that a horn? And I was like, oh yeah, I got it from a minotaur that I killed in battle. And they said, well, let's hear it. So I blew the Horn of Gondor, and I was absolutely atrocious at it.
Right.
And so now, every time somebody subs, donates, or cheers in my stream, I blow the Horn of Gondor.
Okay, so you see the Horn of Gondor and you blow?
So, the Horn of Gondor! That's better than what I started with.
That sounds like bad gas. That's awesome.
Yeah. So here, let's.
Guys, let a professional do this. Okay.
Well, I don't know if I can say that, but.
Horn of Gondor. That's it. That's what it is when you get somebody. So if you guys want to hear that again, all you have to do is go to Shepard and subscribe to his channel.
Any other questions, honey?
Also, let people know
hey.
what is your Twitch. What is your Twitch handle?
Shepard You can find me at Shepard
Right.
on Twitch.tv. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. Every single platform is Shepard
Right, down. And also,
By the way, this is yours as well.
oh, holy crap! Hold on, it's distracting.
Sorry.
Right. Got it. Here goes. I got my own. Woo! This is awesome. Now, see again. You're making me think maybe I should have hats.
Yeah, why not?
I should have hats. This is
It's
awesome.
just something else to, get your name out there. Not that you need help getting your name out there, but.
This is super awesome, guys. Thank you. That's awesome.
What other questions you got? Thank you for moving that.
Oh, no worries.
If you could give one piece of advice to a cosplay newbie, what would it be?
Oh, that's good.
Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. You can do it. Don't get in your mind that you can't do it. You can do absolutely anything that Ted or I can do, and that's why there's so many YouTube channels out there and tutorial videos. EvilTedSmith.com, Evil Ted channel on YouTube. Anybody, and come to stream. Ask a cosplay streamer if they can help you, and don't get discouraged.
Don't get discouraged. Here's the biggest thing. When you start off, is the biggest thing I always tell everybody starts off. Start small. If you're intimidated, people go. I always get these emails repeatedly so much I have almost the same response for every one of them. They're like, Ted, I'm getting ready to build this costume. I'm really intimidated. What do I do? I'm like, start small. But whatever you do, you have to start. Don't stare at it and overthink it and get super intimidated. Start with a shoulder piece. Start with a forearm bracer. Start with a foot. Start with a small thing. Start with a helmet and work your way out. And as you build, you'll get better. And the best thing about it is what the first part you start with, maybe the shoulder or bracer. As you build that costume, I guarantee you'll look at that bracer that you built the very first time and you'll remake it. You're like, wow, I can do this better now. And the only way you're going to get better is by doing it, but you have to start. You have to, there's that water and you're always thinking, how deep is it? You don't know until you jump in. Don't be afraid to fail. You're going to fail. Everybody fails. I failed. The only difference is I didn't videotape myself in the early days when I was building, so you guys get to see my fails. So, again, just start. You'll be fine, really. And again, we have a great community on Twitch. Shepard has a great community on his channel. I have a great community on my channel. Also, I have a Facebook page, Evil Ted's Foam Fanatics. Everybody in there are builders like you, first timers. If you have any questions, go join Evil Ted's Foam Fanatics. Answer my 2 questions. will let you in, and then tons of people in there will help you build. There's so much support there.
Sorry, I keep looking down at my phone to read chat. Second or third, yes, I have hosted him. Thank you for reminding me. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Second or Third. He's my best friend for many years.
Oh, fantastic.
And the reason why I want to is because not only he was my best man, I was his best man in our weddings.
Oh, there you go.
But he actually helped me 3D print parts of my armor. And the reason why, I have a small printer, but he has one with a bigger print space.
Print that,
so
yeah.
for time, I was running out of time. And so I said, hey man, can you help me out? And he was like, heck yeah, dude, just let me know what. So I created the 3D models, sent them to him if I needed help on them, and he helped me 3D print. So Second or Third, he's in chat, guys. Definitely give him a follow as well.
Great. So again, it's all about support, yes. And for any newbie out there, don't be afraid. And here's the thing too. You're gonna people get intimidated when you start looking around and seeing other people's builds. But if you stood there and watched these people build something from the very beginning, you're like, oh.
You should see my first costume.
Oh, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
It's
terrible.
really, it's amazing. So the thing is, do not get intimidated by other people's work. That's their work, not your work. You will get there in time. But the thing is, if you're gonna get intimidated, it's that fear of starting. It's always hard to start anything. Hard to start a diet, hard to start working out, hard to start, get up early to go to work. It's like everything is that first initial start. Get over that hump and just start cutting foam and start gluing and pasting, and you'll get it.
What you got, babe? Next question.
And it is
How do you deal with PostCon depression?
PostCon depression. You know what it is? You go first.
I deal with it by getting back out there and getting excited about my next costume. Whether it's research, playing the video game that I want to base the cosplay off of. Also, I get over it by hanging out in chat on stream and hanging out with my viewers and subscribers. It's and drinking a beer. So
my post con depression is I go through all my pictures. I take a bunch of pictures at a con and I start going through them and I start putting them into a photo album and I start getting ready to post them. And as I'm going through them, I relive it and I look at other people's costumes and it inspires me. Like, that is so awesome. And here's the other thing too. Cosplay and the building community is getting so much more popular. There's cons popping up like weeds. They're everywhere now. So whatever post-con depression you're going through, trust me, I do cons coming right up around the corner.
right.
Hang in there. Don't kill yourself. It's not worth it. Yeah, you'll hang in there. That's a good question.
Who won more games on the plane?
Oh, who won more games? I actually got smoked by that little guy. I'd actually, in the terminal, was sitting across from him, and he was reading a book, and I had saw the book name, and it was Treasure Hunter, and I'd recommend that he read the book Treasure Planet.
And who's this?
It was just a little 8-year-old kid that I met in the airport terminal.
And he crushed you at what game?
Mario Kart. Mario Kart. So I pull out my Nintendo Switch that was given to me by a customer of mine from the wiring business. And he actually is a video editor for the Marvel movies.
Wow.
And he lives in Oklahoma.
You can do everything virtually, and now it's crazy.
It's crazy. So I walk in, this guy, I'm setting up this theater room, and I go and wire this job. And after the job, he said, man, I really appreciate your work, and you went the extra mile. I got this for you. And he gave me a brand new, in the box, Nintendo Switch handheld with Zelda. Yeah, I was mind blown. $350, and he had already paid me for the job.
Wow, nice.
It was crazy. But anyway, I pulled out my Switch on the airplane, and the kid, ironically, that I met in the terminal was sitting right next to me on the plane as well. And I pulled it out, and he looked over right at it immediately, and I was pulled the controllers off the side, handed him one, and we started playing Nintendo Mario Kart on the Switch. And I said, have you ever played before? He's like, no, I haven't. Well, come to find out, he's never played Mario Kart on the Switch. He's played Mario Kart on the DS, N64, and every other Nintendo game ever created, or console ever created. And I got hustled by an 8-year-old.
There it is.
So it was pretty funny.
Go on.
What CAD software do you use?
CAD software. I actually prefer ZBrush, and I actually just started it. The first thing I ever modeled in ZBrush was the belt buckle for this costume, and you'll see that on Twitch tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Saturday. And during the models for this costume, I learned ZBrush off of YouTube videos, and let me tell you, That was probably the most confusing piece of software I've ever worked with, ever.
I've heard people who have 3D printers said that the printers themselves are great. The software is a nightmare. They're all crap.
It's the number one software I would recommend ZBrush to anyone. It is expensive, but it takes all other 3D modeling programs and combines them into one.
Nice.
So, go ahead.
A question? You have one more? Yes, I've been to 2 cons in Germany. To Germany Comic Con, or Comic Con Germany. I get those two confused. And it's also Epicon. They were both spectacular. And Germany is a huge cosplay community in Germany. The best way to describe it is that it's just the enthusiasm and the appreciation for cosplay out there is huge. Everybody's super friendly. I've never had any bad experiences. Every con I've been to, I've never really had a bad experience. But I've always found Germany to be somewhat heartwarming and humbling, because it's just like these young German cosplayers would rush up to me in these amazing costumes, and I'd be, wow, it's so cool. And they'd say, yeah, this is my first costume, and then I want to kill them because I'm like, oh my god, like that looks nothing like my first costume. And I find they're like, well, no, Terry, because you taught me how to do this. And I said, okay, kudos to that. I'll pat myself a little bit on the back. But the idea that they took my videos and started making these cool costumes, that mission has been accomplished. And I like it because it just humbles me and makes me have to raise my bar more. But Europe is great. So anybody who's not been, Germany is awesome. So my mission next is I want to get to the UK, I want to get to New Zealand, and I want to get to Japan, and I want to get to, I think there's Portugal. There's a couple of other countries, but yes, thank you. No, it's been great. Germany's been awesome.
This one's to both of you. What 3 items in your workshop would you never want to work without?
Go ahead. I'll go first.
He dumps it on me first.
I'll go first.
No, you're on my show. You go first.
Okay. My sharpener. I don't use the same sharpener as Ted, which is a Crenshaw
Right.
Sharpener you can actually get on his Amazon affiliate link down below his stream.
That's right down below.
Which is awesome. Definitely go support him there. But a sharpener. I use a sharpener, a heat gun, and I love painter's tape.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything without painter's tape.
For me is, does it have to be one tool?
Say 3.
Oh, yes, it's 3. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Box cutter, all right, a sharpener, and a metal straight edge.
That's a good point.
Two of my favorite.
I use those too, of course.
Yeah, those are my 3 things. I can do a lot with those very quickly. So those are my essential items for building. Good question. Fantastic question. What up?
Come to the Switzerland cosplay dude. What do you think about coming to an Austrian convention?
Right for this, guys, somebody's asked, I should repeat the question, I keep forgetting. Austria convention, people asking about right for this? I'll come to any convention. It doesn't matter. How it works in the convention thing is tell the cons that you want me there. Let them know that you want me there, and have everybody write to the cons and say, hey, we'd like to have Evil Ted there. Because I don't really get a chance to pick the cons I go to because they're really expensive. They're very far away. So how do you get to go to conventions? They sponsor me. They bring me out. So let the convention know if you want me at your local convention. Say if you come to a local con, let them know that you want me there. So that's it. Thank you. Yes, I would love to come. Tell them that you want me there. It'd be awesome. This has been my first episode of Evil Ted's Coffee Talk. And what I want to do is I'm going to do the last 60 seconds. I'm going to hit my guest, Shepard of Men, with some questions. So before I ask you these questions, I'm going to wear your hat. Window or aisle seat?
Aisle.
Aisle. Oh, that's very good. So the first I already asked.
Legroom.
Legroom. That's it. Legroom. We already said coffee or tea.
Coffee.
It's coffee. All right. Home or hotel?
Home.
Home. Right? Because you can't sleep as well as you can sleep in your own bed. 10 minutes early or 10 minutes late?
Early.
Nice.
Early.
Right? I
hate being late.
And
it makes me sick.
And there's people that do it to me, drives me crazy. Like I work in the movie industry, and I always tell people, if you're 10 minutes late, you won't be working because they will cut you loose so fast. There's no patience.
My dad said 15 minutes early growing up, and that's what I try to be.
Good.
Except for when my wife's coming with me.
Boom, boom. Sweet or sour?
Sour.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't like desserts that much.
Yeah, me neither. I can't do the sweet.
I'd rather have some, like a pickle.
All right. DVD at home or movie theater?
Movie theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
The experience.
right. It's cinema. You make an event out of it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Popcorn. You hang out. Yeah. Ooh, movies. Fantastic. Eat breakfast or skip breakfast?
Breakfast.
Nice. See, again, same thing. We have a lot in common as Shepard. and
I think so, yeah.
Really, guys, really quickly, before we wrap up this stream, I would like to introduce you to our assistant. Can you? Come on. And can you introduce us?
Yeah. This is my wife Kayla. She is absolutely amazing, and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without her. Every single day of my life
See, guys, and it goes to show you behind every
is
good man.
because of her, and I couldn't do anything without her. It's really amazing. The only reason I'm at TwitchCon right now is because of her. Because whenever I was crunching and spent so much time streaming and on the costume, she was being the adult, so to speak. And I'm extremely thankful and blessed to have her in my life. So
matter of fact, guys, if you're going to be at TwitchCon, we will be there. So
Yeah.
all you have to do is, guys.
and she's got an Evil Ted shirt too.
That's right. That's happening. So all I'm saying is that's right. Hey, everybody, I want to say, guys, thank you so much for watching, coming out, hanging out for my first episode of Evil Ted Coffee Talk. We're just going to have coffee, going to have talk. No big whoop. We'll see you guys at TwitchCon. And if you guys have any questions and the things we do in the chat, we cover it. It'll be all linked on the videos below. And all Shepard's info will be there too. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you back right now. I will catch you back next time right here on Evil Ted's Coffee Talk. Bye.